भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गोरक्षरस बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल पतदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गोपाल शारद वृंद की जय। नाम अक्षय रस ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री महादेव की जय। श्री शिव-caturdaśī तिथि की जय। तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। श्री वामनदेव की जय। श्री बाली महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। धन्यवाद प्रणाम everybody. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणीति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिशे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तम् अनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहावो पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूत हृदयमुनिमानतोऽस्मि। Sorry guys, once again. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तवैवास्मि तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमं चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्कमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं Sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit late today because I can't find anything to read about Lord Shiva that's not way too long. Everything on purebhakti.com is too long for us to read today with our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reading. But anyways, I'll find something afterwards. I looked at every single thing on purebhakti.com and each one was way too long. Anyways, we'll do this afterwards. After our reading, maybe we can read about Hariha-kshetra. Just need to find it. There's Hariha-kshetra. Anyways, we'll come back here. Dandavat pranams Ganga Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Rukmanjari Didi, Shri Champak Didi, Shash Sharma Ji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Jai Gopeshwar Mahadev, Haribo Kishore, Kishore Prabhu, Gargaraji, Madhavi Didi. Wow, so many people. Right, Haribo. Yes. All right, so let's just do a quick recap. And then maybe we could also sing some kirtans for Shiva also. Okay. So, the demigods regain the heavenly planets. Actually, let's see the previous chapter. I'll just look at this part. So Bali Maharaj offered his head for the third step, for the Lord's third step, and then the Lord's punishment is for spiritual benefit, for he is the well-wisher of the demons as well. So Bali was not ashamed. Prahlad remained a devotee despite the harassment of his father, because he knows the futility of material affairs and the infallible nature of the Lord's shelter. Bali was grateful for Vamanadev's mercy. Then Prahlad arrives and endorses the punishment given to Bali. Then Vindhyavali reproaches Bali Maharaj. Lord Brahma appeals to Lord Vamandev to release Bali Maharaj, and Vamandev speaks about his merciful nature. Then Vamandev glorifies Bali Maharaj's forbearance and truthfulness, and Vamandev gives blessings to Bali Maharaj. Then, what does Vamandev says, Bali Maharaj will become Indra during the Sarvani Manvantar. Until then, he shall live in the Sutala planet made by Vishvakarma, unobtainable by the demigods. He will be in my shelter. Being protected by me, Sutala, better than heaven, is free from mental and bodily miseries, fatigue, dizziness, and defeat. I will be his doorkeeper, staying awake all the time to protect him from any attacks by envious people. When the Lord deprives his devotees of opulences, it does not mean that the Lord puts them into poverty. Rather, the Lord promotes them to a higher position. Then Vamandev says, "O Bali, you may now go to Sutala and live there peacefully with your friends and relatives. All good fortune unto you." The rulers of all of the other planets cannot conquer you there. And if the demons transgress your rule, my disk will kill them. O great hero, I shall always be with you and protect you in all ways. You will always be able to see me there. Because of my prowess there, the anxiety of adopting a demoniac mentality from your association with the demons will be vanquished. Then, Bali Maharaj was overwhelmed upon hearing Vamandev. The great-minded soul, respected by all devotees, with folded hands and eyes filled with tears and ecstatic devotion, spoke to the Lord in a faltering voice. Bali thanked Vamandev. I was merely eager to offer you obeisances within my mind. I didn't actually do so out of fear of Śukrācārya and the demons. Yet I attained the result sought by surrendered devotees. The rare mercy you have shown to this fallen demon by putting your foot on my head was not achieved even by the demigods. As a footnote here, the Lord is known as Bhava Grahi Janardana because he takes only the essence of the devotee's attitude. Even though externally devotees may not render full service, if, however, they are internally sincere and serious, the Lord welcomes their service nonetheless. Bali Maharaj offered respects to the Supreme Lord and then to Brahma and Shiva. He was released from the Varuna Pasha and then happily went to Sutala with the demons. Thus, having delivered the proprietorship of heaven to Indra and having fulfilled the desire of Aditi, the Lord ruled the affairs of the universe. Is this chapter 23? Yeah, it is, okay. Okay, sorry. Then Prahlad's prayers to Lord Vamandev. Seeing his grandson Bali released from bondage and received the Lord's blessings, Prahlad Maharaj spoke with great ecstatic devotion. You have promised to protect us, the demons, from all miseries. I think that such kindness has not been achieved even by Brahma, Shiva, or Lakshmi, what to speak of others. Your lotus feet are worshipped by such worshipable personalities like Brahma. O supreme shelter of all, Brahma and others taste the honey of service onto your lotus feet. But how did we rogues, born of demoniac species, become the recipients of your merciful glances? It is only because your mercy is causeless. You have unlimited powers and inconceivable activities. You know everything. You give life to all beings. Though equal to all, you show favoritism toward your devotees. This is not partiality, but your characteristic as a desire tree that yields according to one's desires. Then Vamandev spoke to Prahlad. My dear son, all good fortune unto you. For the time being, please go to the Sutala planet and enjoy with your grandson and relatives. You will see me there with a club in hand. By the bliss of seeing me, all karmic bondage is destroyed. All the demons entered Sutala planet according to the Lord's order, after circumambulating him and offering him obeisances. Vamanadev's interactions with Śukrācārya. The Lord then addressed Śukrācārya, who was sitting amongst the Brahmavadi priests. Please describe the fault in your disciple for which you had cursed him. Although he is not present here, that fault will be nullified when judged in the presence of qualified Brahmins. Then Śukrācārya admits his fault in cursing Bali. That's where we read up to yesterday. Yeah, we could read Rudragit. It'd be nice to read something about, directly about the glories of Shiva, though. We can, yeah, rather than his prayers. I mean, that's also really nice. But Shri Shukra Uvacha Kutastat Karmya Vaishamyam Yasya Karmeshwaro Bhavan Yagesho Yagapurusha Sarva Bhavena Pujitaha. Śukrācārya said, My Lord, you are the enjoyer and lawgiver in all performances of sacrifice, and you are the Yajna Purush, the person to whom all sacrifices are offered. If one has fully satisfied you, where is the chance of discrepancies or faults in his performance of sacrifice? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita 5.29, the Lord says, Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. The Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, is the actual person to be satisfied by the performance of yagyas. The Vishnu Purana 3.8.9 says, Varnashrama charavata purushena parapuman Vishnur aradhate pantha nanyat tattoshakaranam. All Vedic ritualistic sacrifices are performed for the purpose of satisfying Lord Vishnu, the Yajna Purush. The divisions of society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, are all meant to satisfy the Supreme Lord Vishnu. To act according to this principle of the Varnashram institution is called Varnashramacharan. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.2.13, Sutta Goswami says, Ata pumbir dijashreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha swanushtitasya dharmasya sangsiddhir haritoshanam. O best among the twice-born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging his prescribed duties according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Everything is meant to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, since Bali Maharaj had satisfied the Lord, he had no faults, and Śukrācārya admitted that cursing him was not good. One second, I just realized I have to respond to an important message. Hey Kishore, no word yet. Looks like she hasn't turned on her phone yet, so we'll just see. I'm doing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reading right now, but afterwards I will check and see if she responded. She hasn't yet. Okay, sorry about that. We might be doing a program right after this reading, so it's urgent. So therefore, Bali Maharaj had satisfied the Lord. He had no faults, and Śukrācārya admitted that cursing him was not good. Mantratas tantratas chidram desha kalarha vastutaha sarvam karoti nishchidram anusankirtanam tava. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles. And moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Harer Nama, Harer Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva Gatir Anyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. That's from the Brihan Naradiya Puran 38.126. In this age of Kali, it is extremely difficult to perform Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or sacrifices perfectly. Hardly anyone can chant the Vedic mantras with perfect pronunciation or accumulate the paraphernalia for Vedic performances. Therefore, the sacrifice recommended in this age is Sankirtan, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sundasaha. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11.5.29. Instead of wasting time performing Vedic sacrifices, those who are intelligent, those who possess good brain substance, should take to the chanting of the Lord's holy name and thus perform sacrifice perfectly. I have seen that many religious leaders are addicted to performing yagyas and spending hundreds and thousands of rupees for imperfect sacrificial performances. This is a lesson for those who unnecessarily execute such imperfect sacrifices. We should take the advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sume Dasaha. Although Śukrācārya was a strict Brahmin addicted to ritualistic activities, he also admitted Nishchidram Anusankirtanam Tava. My Lord, constant chanting of the holy name of your Lordship makes everything perfect. In Kali Yuga, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies cannot be performed as perfectly as before. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has recommended that although one should take care to follow all the principles in every kind of spiritual activity, especially in worship of the deity, there is still a chance of discrepancies, and one should compensate for this by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore give special stress to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in all activities. Tatapi vadato bhuman karishyamyanushasanam etachreya parang pungsam yattava jnanupalanam. Lord Vishnu, I must nonetheless act in obedience to your order, because obeying your order is most auspicious and the first duty of everyone. Shishuka uvacha pratinandya hareragyam ushana bhagavaniti yagya chidram samadatta baler viprarshibhi saha. Shukadev Goswami continued, in this way, the powerful Śukrācārya accepted the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full respect. Along with the best Brahmins, he began to compensate for the discrepancies in the sacrifices performed by Bali Maharaj. Evam baler mahim rajan bhikshitva vamano hari tado bhratre mahindraya tridivam yat parer hritam. O King Parikshit, thus having taken all the land of Bali Maharaj by begging, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vamandev, delivered to his brother Indra all the land taken away by Indra's enemy. Prajapati pitir Brahma devarshi pitri bhumi pai daksha brigvangiro mukhyai kumarena bhavena cha kashyapasya prityai sarvabhuta bhavaya cha lokanam lokapalanam akarod vamanam patim. Lord Brahma, the master of King Daksha and all other Prajapatis, accompanied by all the demigods, the great saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitriloka, the Manus, the Munis, and such leaders as Daksha, Bhrigu, and Angira, as well as Kartikeya and Lord Śiva. Lord Brahma accepted Vamandev as the protector of everyone. He did this for the pleasure of Kashyapa Muni and his wife. He did this for the pleasure of Kashyapa Muni and his wife Aditi, Kashyapa Muni's wife Aditi, and for the welfare of all the inhabitants of the universe, including their various leaders. Vedanam sarvadevanam dharmasya yashasa kshriyaha mangalanam vratanam cha kalpam svargapavargayo upendram kalpayam chakre pating sarva vibhutaye tada sarvani bhutani bhrishamumudire nripa. O King Parikshit, Indra was considered the king of all the universe, but the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, wanted Upendra, Lord Vamandev, as the protector of the Vedas, the principles of religion, fame, opulence, auspiciousness, vows, elevation to the higher planetary system, and liberation. Thus they accepted Upendra, Lord Vamandev, as the supreme master of everything. This decision made all living entities extremely happy. Tatasvindraha puraskritya devayanena vamanam lokapalar divangninye brahmana chanumoditaha. Thereafter, along with all the leaders of the heavenly planets, Indra, the king of heaven, placed Lord Vamandev before him and, with the approval of Lord Brahma, brought him to the heavenly planet in a celestial airplane. Prapyatri bhuvanam chendra upendra bhujapalitaha shriya paramaya jushto mumude gatasadvasaha. Indra, king of heaven, being protected by the arms of Vamandev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus regained his rule of the three worlds and was reinstated in his own position, supremely opulent, fearless, and fully satisfied. Brahmasharva kumarascha brigbadya munayo nirpa pitara sarva bhutani siddhavai kaschye su mahat karmatar vishnor gayanta paramar bhutam dishnyam ni svanite jagmur aditing cha shashangsire. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Kartikeya, the great sage Bhrigu, other saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitriloka, and all other living entities present, including the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and living entities who travel in outer space by airplane, all glorified the uncommon activities of Lord Vamandev. O King, while chanting about and glorifying the Lord, they returned to their respective heavenly planets. They also praised the position of Aditi. Sarvam itam maya kyatam pavata kulanandana urukramasya charitam shrotrinang agamochanam. O Maharaj Parikshit, pleasure of your dynasty, I have now described to you everything about the wonderful activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vamandev. Those who hear about this are certainly freed from all the results of sinful activities. Parang mahimna uruvikramato Parang mahimna uruvikramato grinano ya partivani vimanme sarajang simartya kim jayamana utajata upaiti martya Ityaha mantra digrishi purushasya yasya. One who is subject to death cannot measure the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Trivikrama, Lord Vishnu, any more than he can count the number of atoms on the entire planet Earth. No one, whether born already or destined to take birth, is able to do this. This has been sung by the great sage Vaishishta. Vaishishta Muni has given a mantra about Lord Vishnu. Na te Vishnor jayamano na jato mahimna param ananta apa. No one can estimate the extent of the uncommonly glorious activities of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, there are so-called scientists who are subject to death at every moment, but are trying to understand by speculation the wonderful creation of the cosmos. This is a foolish attempt. Long, long ago, Vasishtha Muni said that no one in the past could measure the glories of the Lord, and that no one can do so in the future. One must simply be satisfied with seeing the glorious activities of the Supreme Lord's creation. The Lord therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 10:42, Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekangshena sito jagat. With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. The material world consists of innumerable universes, each one full of innumerable planets, which are all considered to be products of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. Yet, this is only 1/4 of God's creation. The other 3/4 of creation constitute the spiritual world. Among the innumerable planets in only one universe, the so-called scientists cannot understand even the moon and Mars. But they try to defy the creation of the Supreme Lord and his uncommon energy. Such men have been described as crazy. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5:5-4. Such crazy men unnecessarily waste time, energy, and money in attempting to defy the glorious activities of Urukrama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ya idam devadevasya harerarbhuta karmana Avataranucharitam Shrinvang Yati Param Gatim. If one hears about the uncommon activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his various incarnations, he is certainly elevated to the higher planetary system, or even brought back home, back to Godhead. Kriyamane karmanidam daive pitre tamanushe yatra yatra nukirteta tattesham sukritam viduhu. Whenever the activities of Vamandev are described in the course of a ritualistic ceremony, whether the ceremony be performed to please the demigods, to please one's forefathers in Pitri-loka, or to celebrate a social event like a marriage, that ceremony should be understood to be extremely auspicious. Purport. There are three kinds of ceremonies, specifically ceremonies to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the demigods, those performed for social celebrations like marriages and birthdays, and those meant to please the forefathers, like the Shraddha ceremony. In all these ceremonies, large amounts of money are spent for various activities. But here it is suggested that if along with this, there is a recitation of the wonderful activities of Vamandev, certainly the ceremony will be carried out successfully and will be free of all discrepancies. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 8th canto, 23rd chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled, The Demigods Regain the Heavenly Planets. Jai Ho, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Shri Vamanadeva ki Jai, Shri Bali Maharaj ki Jai. All right, so now we just have this last part, Matsya, the Lord's fish incarnation. This is the last chapter of the 8th canto. This chapter is not a little bit long. It will take us 2 days to get through this chapter, but yeah, in 2 days we will finish the 8th canto. All right, so now let's read about Lord Shiva. Let me see. Okay, so I was thinking maybe we could read from this Harihar Kshetra. Let me just see. I think there's a nice thing in here in Navadipta Mahatma. Yeah, let's do this. It's Lord Shiva's glories in relation to Mahaprabhu. I think that's, it's short. Okay, anyways, let's read this. One second, let me just put this on a Word document. One second, I need to make it Unicode first. So thank you for being patient. Okay. Okay. Actually, let me just read this first part. Okay, it starts like that. Okay, so the chapter begins. All glories to Shri Sachinandan, the mother of Sachi. All glories to the Avadut Shri Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to the king of devotees, Shri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita. All glories to Gadadhar Pandit and the society of devotees. All glories to the most beautiful Sri Navadip Dham. All glories to the holy name of Sri Gaur. Srivas Pandit and the other devotees called out, Hari Hari, and proceeded along with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. This is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Navadip Dham Mahatma, chapter 8. The Nityananda Prabhu was completely intoxicated by the wine-like ras of Hari. As he was talking, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, being carried away by prem, swayed and stammered as if intoxicated. Streams of tears flowed from his eyes, and overwhelmed with emotion, he called out, Gaur, Gaur. All his ornaments glittered, and his transcendental form illuminated the 10 directions. As Srivas Pandit danced with Sri Jiva, they sometimes wept and sometimes danced with carefree abandon. All the other devotees also danced as they proceeded onward. When they reached the river Alakananda, Sri Nityananda Prabhu spoke blissfully. O Jiva, the river Mandakini surrounds Nadia, keeping the village Bilva Paksha on her western side. At Suvarna Vihar, which you saw previously, the rivers Mandakini and Alakananda part from each other. Alakanandar Puravapare Harihar Kshetra Gandaka Dhare. Sorry, I don't know how I sing that. Harihar Kshetra is situated on the Alakananda's east bank and on the bank of the Gandaki. Shri Murti Prakasha Hoi Bekale Sundara Kanana Shobhi Bhale. At the right time, a deity will manifest here, and a beautiful grove will adorn this place. The pilgrimage place named Kashi and Sri Navadip Dham. Alaka Paschime Dekoho Kashi Shiva Shakta Seve Mukati Dasi. Just see, Kashi, which is situated on the Alakananda's western bank. Shaivites, worshippers of Lord Shiva, and Shaktas, worshippers of Shakti, are trying to attain liberation here. Varanasi hoite e dhama para hetaya dhurjati pinakadhara. This Harihar Kshetra is superior to Varanasi, Kashi. Here, Dhurjati, Shiva with matted hair, reigns splendidly, holding a damaru drum. Gora Gora Boli Sadai Nache, Nija Jane Gora Bhakati Jache. Shiva is always dancing here, chanting Gora Gora, and praying for his followers to Gora Bhakti. The Bhaktas reproach liberation. Sahasravarasha Kashite Basi, Labhishe Mukati Gyanete Nyasi. Tahata hetaya charane theli nachena bhakta gauranga boli. The liberation obtained by sannyasis after living in Kashi and practicing gyan, speculative and personal knowledge, for 1,000 years is here kicked away by the devotees as they dance and chant the name of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. These devotees consider themselves fortunate just to drink the nectar of Sri Gaura's name. Lord Shiva chants the name of Gaur in the ears of the jivas. Niryana samaye ekane jiva kane Gaura boli tarena Shiva. If any living being leaves his body in this place, in his final moment, Lord Shiva chants the name of Sri Gaura in his ear and thus liberates him. Mahavaranasi e dhama hoy, Shivera marane nahi ko bhoy. This holy abode is also called Mahavaranasi because the living entities here need not fear dying, considering that they will definitely attain a transcendental destination upon hearing the pure name of Sri Gaur emanate from Lord Shiva's mouth. In other words, They need not worry about their destination after death. Eto boli tatai nitai nache, Gora Hari Prem Jivere Jache. Saying this, Sri Nityananda Prabhu began to dance and prayed that Sri Jiva may also attain prem for Sri Gaura Hari. Lord Shiva offers his respects at Sri Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. Alakshe tokon kailashapati, nitai charane korilo nati. Unseen by anyone else, Lord Shiva, the master of Kailas, respectfully bowed at Sri Nityananda Prabhu's divine feet. Gauri Saha Shiva Gauranga Nam, Gaya Gaya Puraya Kam. Lord Shiva resides here with Gauri, Shri Parvati, constantly chanting Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's names and thus fulfilling all of his desires. Jai Shiva Parvati ki Jai. So, what else can we read? What time is it? It's 8:18. We still have some more time. I hate when chapters are just called chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, instead of like being... Let's see this. This is a Navadip Dham Parikrama book. Okay, let's read this. It's a short thing, but let me just take away the diacritics. Fix the diacritics. Okay. Kshetrapal Shiva or Gopishwar Mahadev. In the Yoga Pit in Mayapur, Kshetrapal Shiva, the protector of the Dham, is eternally worshipped. He is also known as Shri Gopishwar, and he bestows service to the Dham. Pure devotees who perform their worship in accordance with the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, the Sri Rupanugas, honor Kshetrapal Shiva as Gopishwar Mahadev and pray to him for eternal service to Sri Gaur that is devoid of material attributes. Sri Gaur is the embodiment of Rasaraj Mahabhav, the combined form of Sri Radha Krishna. Gopishwar Shiva's pranam mantra from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Shri Sankalpa Kalpadrum, text 103, is, so we can all sing this together. I'll just break it up, okay. Okay. Vrindavanavani pate jaya soma soma mole Sanaka sanandana sanatana naradedya Gopishwara vrajavilasi yugangri padme Prema prayacha nirupadhi namo namaste. O gatekeeper of Vrindavan, O Soma, all glories to you. O you whose forehead is decorated with the moon, and who is worshipful for the sages headed by Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Narad. O Gopishwar, desiring that you bestow upon me prem for the lotus feet of Shri Radha Madhav, who perform joyous pastimes in Vrajdham, I offer obeisances unto you time and again. Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. All right, so maybe something nice we could do is sing a couple kirtans. Last year, I think it was last year, I read the entire Shiva Tattva book. And that's pretty much what's on purebhakti.com right now. It's just the chapters of the book. And I looked at all of them, they're all pretty long. So that's why I just wanted to find something short. But there are two things I can think of right now. Also, actually, there is the Shiva Ashtakam. Let me see if I can find it. Shiva Ashtakam. I might have it. Shiva Ashtakam. Let's search and find it. I think it's written by Murari Gupta. Shiva Ashtakam. Let's see if I can find it. Did I ever send it on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list? I don't even know. Arg. Anyways, we could find it on the internet, but there was a translation that I think we made a translation, but let's just see. Shiva Ashtakam Murari Gupta. Okay, here it is. It's not our translation though, but anyways, no problem. I think Shiva's translated this. I don't know. Wait, let's see what the meter is. Okay, got it. Let's read the translation first and then we could sing it. I perpetually offer obeisances unto you. This is written by Murari Gupta, and it's from his book, Krishna Chaitanya Charita. I perpetually offer obeisances unto you, the Lord of the 30 primal devas, who are the original father of created beings, whose character is gracious, upon whose head, which is crested by the sickle moon, the Ganga springs, and who are a festival for the eyes of Gauri, the fair goddess. I offer my obeisances to you, who resemble a moon of molten gold, who are dressed in garments colored like a group of budding blue lotuses or lustrous rain clouds, who bestow the most desirable boon to your devotees by your delightful dancing, who offer shelter to those who seek to become one with the transcendental effulgence of Godhead, and whose flag bears the image of the bull. I offer my obeisances to you, who dispel darkness with the 3 eyes, the moon, the sun, and fire, and thus cause auspiciousness for all the living entities of the universe, and whose potency easily defeats thousands of moons and suns. I offer my obeisances to you, whose form is brilliantly illuminated by the jewels of Vamanadeva, the king of snakes, who possess divine potencies and are clothed in a tiger skin, who stands in the midst of 1,000-petaled lotus, and whose 2 arms are adorned by lustrous bangles. I offer my obeisances to you, who bestow happiness to your servitors, as you pour upon them liquid nectar flowing from your reddish lotus feet, upon which charming ankle balls ring. Obeisances unto you, who are adorned by an abundance of gems. Please endow me today with the pure love for Sri Hari. O Shri Ram, O Govinda, O Mukunda, O Shori, O Shri Krishna, O Narayan, O Vasudev. I offer my obeisances unto you, Shri Shiva, who are the monarch ruling over all the bee-like devotees who are mad to drink the nectar of these and other innumerable names of Hari, and who thus destroys all grief. I offer my respectful obeisances to you, Shri Shiva, who are forever inquired of confidentially by Sri Narad and other great sages, who very easily bestow boons on them, who bestow the happiness of Hari Bhakti to those who seek boons of you, who thereby create auspiciousness, and who are thus the Guru of everyone. I offer my obeisances to you, who are a festival of auspiciousness for the eyes of Gauri, who are the Lord of her life energy, who bestow ras and are expert in forever singing songs with eagerness of the pastimes of Govinda. The person who hears these great 8 prayers glorifying Lord Shiva with loving feelings and with great attention can quickly gain the love of Lord Sri Hari as well as transcendental knowledge, the application of the knowledge, and unparalleled endless opulences. This song was originally sung by Lord Chaitanya in glorification of Lord Shiva. All right, so let's sing this song. How come it's not becoming bigger? Anyways, that's big enough for you to read, right? I can zoom in, actually. That's what I'll do. Okay, let me just get the mridanga. One second, just checking everything's okay. Yeah. Namo namaste tridasheshwaraya bhutadinataya mridaya nitam Ganga tarango titabala chandra Ochuraya Gori Nayanotsavaya Sutapta Chami Karachandra Nila. Sorry, one second. Did I open this already? Just getting it ready. Okay, I did. Sutapta Chami Karachandra Nila Parma Pravalam Buddhakanti Vastrai Sunre Tarangeshtavara Pradaya Kaivalya Nathaya Vrishadvajaya Sutangshu Suryagni Vilochanena Tamo Bhidete Jagata Shivaya Sahasra Subhrangshu Sahasrashmi Sahasra Sanjit Varate Jasestu Nagesharatno Jvala Vigrahaya Shardula Charmang Shukadevya Tejase Sahasapatro Parisangstitaya Varangadan Mukta Bhuja Tvayaya Sanukpura Pranjita Pada Parma Ksharat Sudha Britya Sukha Pradaya Vichitaratnoga Vibhushitaya Premanamevadya Haro Videhi Shri Rama Govinda Mukunda Shore Krishna Narayana Vasudeva Ityadi Namamritapanamata Bringadipaya Kila Dukahantre Shinaradadai Satatang Sugopya Jigyasitaya Shuvara Pradaya Tebhyo Harer Bhakti Sukha Pradaya Shivaya Sarva Gurave Namaha Shri Gauri Netrotsava Mangalaya Tat Prananathaya Rasa Pradaya Sada Samutkanta Govinda Lila Agana Pravinaya Namostu Gana Pravinaya Namostu Tubhyam Etat Shiva Ashtakam Arputamahat Shinvang Hari Prema Labhita Shigram Gyanam Chavi Gyanam Apurvam Vaibhavam yo bhava purna paramam samadaram. Jaya Mahadeva, Jaya Mahadeva, Mahadeva, Jaya Mahadeva, Jaya Mahadeva, Jaya Mahadeva, Mahadeva, Jaya Mahadeva. All right, so now we can sing some songs by Lord Shiva. I think the Rudra Geet is too long though, it's too many verses. But yeah. So I'm just gonna sing. There's one, oh, it's not here. I know where it is, I'll just find it. Grihe Radha Vane Radha. How does it go? I'll find it, give me 1 second. It's in the old songbook. I think it's called, let me just write Grihe Radha Vane Radha, that's how it starts. Grihe Radha. There it is. Let me just, oh, this is Brahma and Narad in the Brahmanda Purana. That's not Shiva. Okay, well, we can sing Radha Kripa Kataksha Stavaraj. That's Lord Shiva. Let's find that. Radha Kripa. Okay. Spoken by Shiva in the Urdhvamnaya Tantra. Let me just make it bigger. Let's make it that big. Okay, Shri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stavaraj. And that's in Sanskrit, when you have somebody's, like when there's an A at the end, like we say Radhe, that means oh Radha, or Lalite, oh Lalita Devi, oh Radhike means oh Radhika. So that's why in this song, everything is ending in A. Munindravinda Vandite. And also Harini, it's A or E, like if we're talking about feminine, you know, it can either end in those ways. So depending on some Sanskrit rules. So Munindravinda Vandite, Triloko Shoka Harini, Prasanavanta Pankaje, Nikunja Bhuvilasini, Virjendra Bandhanandini, Virjendra Sangate. So all those endings means, oh you who this, like that. Because this is all, yeah. Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Suno Sangate Kada Karishas Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Ashoka Vriksha Vallari Vitana Mandapastite Pravala Vala Pallava Prabhanurangri Male Varabhaya Spurat Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bhangura Bruvam Savibramam Sasambramam Triganta Banapatanai Nirantarang Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam तडित् सुवर्णचम्पक प्रदीप्तगौरविग्रहे मुखप्रभा परास्तकोटि शारदेन्दुमण्डले विचित्रचित्र सचराचकोरशावलोचने कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं मदोन्मदाति यौवने प्रौरमानमण्डिते प्रियानुरागरञ्जिते अकलाविलासपण्डिते अनन्यधान्य कुञ्जराजकामकेलिकोविदे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजन अशेषहाव पावदीर हिरहारभूषिते प्रभुतशातकुम्भकुम्भ कुम्भिकुम्भसुस्तनि प्रशस्तमान्द हास्यचूर्णपूर्णसौख्यसागरे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं मृणालवालवल्लरि तरङ्गरङ्गदोलते लताग्रलास्यलोलनीललोचनावलोकने ललल्लुलान् मिलान्मनोज्ञमुग्धमोहनाश्रिते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं सुवर्णमालिकाञ्चित त्रिरेककम्बुकण्ठगे त्रिसूत्रङ्गलिगुण त्रिरत्नदीप्तिदिति सलोलनील कुन्तलप्रसूनगुच्छगुम्फिते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं नितम्बबिम्बलम्बमान पुष्पमेखलागुणे प्रशस्तरत्नकिङ्किणी कलापमध्यमञ्जुले करीन्द्रशुण्डदाण्डिकावरोह सौवगौरुके कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनेकमन्त्र नारमञ्जुनुपुरारवस्कलत् समाजराजहंसवंश निपनाति गौरवे विलोलहेम वल्लरी विडं विचारुचाङ्क्रमे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् अनन्तकोटि विष्णुलोकनाम्रप्रर्मजार्चिते हिमाद्रिजापुलोमजा विरिञ्च जावरप्रदे अपारसिद्धिरिदिग्ध सत्पदाङ्गुलीनखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभाजनम् माहेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी स्वरेश्वरी सुरेश्वरी त्रिवेरभारतीश्वरी प्रमाण शासनेश्वरी रामेश्वरी क्षमेश्वरी प्रमोरकाननेश्वरी व्रजेश्वरी व्रजाधिपे शिराधिके नमोऽस्तुते इति ममार्भुतं स्तवं निशाम्य भानुनन्दिनी करोतु सन्ततं जनं कृपाकटाक्षभाजनं भवेत्तदैव सञ्चिता त्रिरूपकर्मनाशनं भवेत्तदा व्रजेन्द्रसूनु मण्डलप्रवेशनं कदा करिष्यसि मां Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Radha Vinod Bihari, Radha Vinod Bihari Radhe. Jaya Gopishwara, Jaya Mahadeva, Gopishwara, Jaya Mahadeva. Jaya Gopishwara, Jaya Mahadeva, Gopishwara, Jaya Mahadeva. Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashata Shmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vishnupad Ashata Shmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Maha-Bhagavat Shri Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nityalapa Vishnu Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Goriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashagunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gopal Shah Vrinda ki jai, Nama Chai Shri Ras Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Adaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai, Shri Vamanadeva Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Shiv Ji ki jai, Mahadev ki jai, Shri Shiva-caturdaśī Titi ki jai, Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Har Har Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashcha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Also something that we sing at all different, like on Brajamandal Parikrama and Navadip Parikrama also, when at Harihar Kshetra, we always sing O He Vaishnav Thakur for Lord Śiva, because Vaishnavanam Itashambhu, he's the greatest of all the Vaishnavas, as said in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But anyways, I'm going to just end now because I have stuff to do today. But thank you for joining me, and see you all tomorrow for the last chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 8th canto. And after the 8th canto, I don't know what we should, if I have to think about it, but should we start the 9th canto right away? Or because I am going to have to break for Navadip Parikrama. I'm going to be going on Parikrama this year. So I'll have to break for like, I don't know, how many days? Like a week or something. And so, anyways, we will fine. I'll figure it out today, and then, yeah. All right, Haribol. Oh yeah, and Prajumna Prabhu. Yes, that song. Well, I mean, that is a common thing that devotees sing. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Shiva Jape Panchamukhe, like that. Brahma Jape Chaturmukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Yeah, like that's a common thing that like I don't know what you call it, akar or whatever. And it's also in that song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Nitai Ki Namene Chere. Yeah. There's also Panchavadana Narade Dhari Premera Sagana Rol. That's what is it? Narad Muni Bhajai Bina Radhika Ramana Name. Panchavadana, Lord Śiva, he embraces Narad Premera Sagana Rol. And yeah, they chant the holy names and filled with prem and ecstasy. What's Saghana Rol mean? I think their hair is standing on ends. I think that's what it means. Yeah. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Mangal, huh? I've never read Chaitanya Mangal before. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. We'll see. Yeah, let's think about it. If we should jump right into the 9th canto right away, or if we should if we should read something about the glories of Navadip Dham, maybe Navadip Dham Mahatma before Navadip Parikrama. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, Hari Bol, everybody.